well. I'm Mary Ashlock, and I'll share with you a little bit about my background. I started off working in customer service for 4 years, and I was a professor already, but I did that at night. And then during those 4 years, someone saw me and said, "Hey, you want to join our consulting firm?" So I did consulting for 13 years with, oh my gosh, all kinds of things. You know, Teams back in the day when Teams, and the Teams are still big, but with a lot of manufacturing firms, Coca-Cola, Nabisco, all kinds of places in Atlanta and around the country. And of course, I live in Louisville now and have been teaching at the university. This is my 18th year, which I can't believe. And I still do things on the side, which is fun. If an architectural firm wants me to do things with public speaking to help their employees, whatever, it's just been a good time. And a lot of us in the department work together and do things in the community too, helping out. So my area, I teach business communication. I also teach a large class that's like an intro. It's called Intro to Communication, and we do that one online as well as certainly face to face. And you'll find that many of our classes, we're pretty online friendly. We've been teaching online for just about almost 20 years before anybody else was on campus.
Mhm.
So share with me a little bit about yourselves, and then I can again tailor things and we can make it more interactive and chatting. Julie, you want to start off?
Sure. My name is Julie Pashang, and I reside in the Dayton, Ohio area.
Oh, excellent.
Extensive background in sales, a
Hmm.
little bit of marketing. I worked for Cox Media for a stint in the
Yeah.
job. It was like that show years ago, WKRP in Cincinnati. So lots of fun. Enjoyed that role. Most recently, I was with ITW, Illinois Toolworks, where I
Mhm.
sold service contracts on commercial equipment, commercial kitchen equipment. Um, Golly, I've worked for in the K-12 marketplace, but mainly, Mary, it's
Hmm.
extensive sales background.
Hmm.
And what I'm looking to do, um, I'm getting older and I do not have a degree. Obviously, that's why I'm here. And
Hmm.
looking for a complementary degree that would help catapult and build upon my extensive sales background. And so I'm not sure if that's a communication degree, not sure if a marketing degree. I have no idea, but I know I
Okay.
need paper, Mary.
Yes, yes. And the great thing is, I mentioned this before we started too. Once you take some classes, and if you do get a job, you can still pursue that and decide, okay, is this still for me? Especially depending upon how far along you are. I think it'd be great. And I think it would open up doors for you with all of your experience for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that helps me because when you talk about looking at marketing, and so forth, we have an area that we'll see in a few minutes called strategic communication. And that's what universities are using across the country. Well, it really came about because strategic communication includes public relations, marketing, and advertising. And
Ah,
so there's a lot of that sales piece built in as well. I mean, sales can be a different department, as we know, but that would be something that we'll definitely make sure to mention when we look at that for you.
one thing that was interesting throughout my job hunting journey, I had two organizations come to me about product management roles, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that background. And I found it odd. I'm like, what is going on? And I was skeptical initially. And then when the second one showed up on my doorstep, I go, there's something to this. So I got on Chat GPT, and I guess a lot of the sales background skills are transferred
Mm-hmm.
that that type of role. So I'm kind of curious about exploring that avenue.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think that would fit right in. So
Mhm.
this is great. Check out everything, and I think there'll be some things here too that you'll be surprised about because
Okay.
people don't realize the evolution of communication programs, how very much tied to the marketplace we are with our job placement and everything related to what you're saying and other other careers as well. All right, thanks, Julie.
Thank
Carson. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, my name is Carson, and I'm currently a student at Bellarmine University. Um,
Excellent.
I'm a theater major, and I'm looking to possibly transfer.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been looking at different programs, and this one caught my attention, the online program for
Yeah.
communication.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the I think that it would be a good fit. I think that it would be a good fit for me, especially coming from a going from a possible theater degree to a communications degree instead, because there's more job opportunities and it can still go with the media aspect,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. So are you looking to work in media then as one of your options?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well then what we'll do is with the two of you, I'll say, I'll say some things. I'll just show it to you. Some of it's just reference material, but then we'll get to some certain lists that I think will appeal to both of you. And then you'll have all of this too to refer back. And really, please know that you are welcome to email me and then we can set phone calls anytime. I enjoy working with students, you know, from all different backgrounds and all different stages. So, I enjoy doing that. Very student centered, no matter how old, how young, where everybody is on their path. All right, well, I want to get started with the slide, then I'm going to do an interactive activity with you. So Carson, I know you're off camera, but if you want, you can either be on camera or not, and you can just tell us your result, okay? We're
All
gonna do a
right,
little.
sounds good.
Okay, so first I'll show you just this one fun fact that with us, we are rated, University of Louisville online programs are some of the best in the country. So, many of the classes that you take, really just about almost all of them, are from our full-time faculty. And if they're not our full-time faculty, they were with us full-time or have always been with us part-time, bringing in their expertise. So, I can say with full confidence we have some great professors, and I'm always available should you need any advice on certain ones, this or that, to make sure it matches up with what you like. Let's go with a little activity. Again, I like to do this when we get started. You both ready?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to raise your right arm and make a slight fist like this. Just go ahead and go like that. Put on your chin and look at us one another. Okay. So I said put it on your chin. And where did you both put your fist?
On
On
our,
your cheek.
where did you put it?
So, and I said, go, raise your right hand, make a slight fist, put it on your chin. And I love to do this because it just brings in all the elements of communication, whether we're face to face or not. So, this is what just happened. 55% of how we communicate, and certainly online is, going to be different because we don't have all of this, but the nonverbal behavior when you present yourself, I said I said put this on your chin, but non-verbally you're following my actions and it has such an impact. Tone of voice has an impact. So I said, and the words are so key and important, especially if we couldn't completely see one another the whole time. But the words are, they're really fueled by the nonverbal behavior because I can say, "Oh, I'm really glad to have you all here. Let's just get going. We just spend a few minutes. Glad, good luck, whatever." And so that tone of voice and the nonverbals totally negates what you're saying word wise. The words are important, don't get me wrong, but I love doing that. I do that in front of any any group just to get us thinking about all the ways that we communicate.
Hmm.
So that's my little fun fact. Are you ready to get into why U of L online?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so I've got, again, these are going to be just some lists. So I mentioned already, many of our classes are taught by the same faculty. Same setup as on campus, pretty much, except you don't get, this. Sometimes you get live interaction, just depends if it's live or if it's synchronous, not synchronous, and you're just going in to answer questions, discussion boards. Both of our degrees are online, Bachelor's of Science and Bachelor's of Arts. What do you think the differences would be between those degrees in your pursuit of them? Just give me any wild guesses.
I would think one would have maybe, I don't know, the science versus the arts.
Okay. I mean, and that's generally how universities are
Uh,
set up. You're onto it. You're getting there. Yeah. Okay.
Six, maybe,
Okay.
don't know.
All right. Carson, what do you think?
Um, well, it seems that it would be just one's more broad than the other.
Yeah. And this is in any university, many programs. Bachelor's of Arts is the one that's broader, and that allows people to double major. And Bachelor's of Science doesn't mean you take more science classes. And again, this is at all universities. Bachelor's of Science means you're focusing in more on the content of that subject. So our students who are in Bachelor's of Science tend to take more classes because they want to focus in. So if you want to have a real focus and go in depth with this online degree, should you choose it, I would say go with Bachelor's of Science. Now, Bachelor's of Arts is also a deal breaker for some students. And I like Bachelor's of Arts because many of our students will double major and they'll do all kinds of fun things. Bachelor's of Science online, though, you say, hey, I'm going to focus in on the science of communication. And so, for example, you would be taking 48 credit hours, many more than you would in Bachelor's of Arts, because you want to go in this science of communicate, focus real in depth. So that's the only thing, because many students will ask me, is there more science in this one than that? No, it's just whatever one you want to really pursue. And you can see, on the slide, it's in the modern workplace and so forth. So you can decide. You can say, hey, no, I want to be more broad and I want to do Bachelor's of Arts. And that means that you take one more foreign language, for example. And usually you would take 2 semesters of a foreign language. Bachelor's of Arts, you take 3. So I just always like to point that out because some people don't really think about it at first. And you have a lot of choices with that. What questions do you have for that piece?
I don't think I have any so far.
Okay, all right. I'm going to just keep us going at a little pace here. So we have the Bachelor's of Science or Bachelor's of Communication. So this is a little bit more detail. You see they're the same credit hours, right? The 121. And Bachelor's of Arts, the cardinal core are those general education requirements that everybody has to take. You take a general math, you have to take maybe some kind of science. You have choices in all of those. And I know, Carson, you said you've already started at Bellarmine, which those credits would come over. Which year are you in right now?
I'm in my sophomore year.
Okay, yeah, so you probably have many of these cardinal core classes that would come in up to 31 credit hours. And then there's some other classes that we require that total, to get you have your core communication classes, 36 credit hours. And remember, each class is 3 credits. And as opposed to Bachelor's of Science down here, you'd have up to 48 credit. Again, that's science. You dig more deeper, so you have more credits. So it's up to both of you. Carson, in your case, you may say, oh, I think all of my credits I'd be transferring in would be Cardinal Core anyway. Maybe some arts and sciences in here. And Julie, you've got a choice of just whichever one you want. Some people will say, hey, I'm great in foreign language. I'm going to test out of all 3 foreign language. And shoot, I'll do the Bachelor's of Arts for that reason because I need 3 foreign language there. I'm going to pause there for any of your thoughts, that's just kind of the groundwork. Okay, I'm going to keep going to add on. This is just the generic knowledge. So if you can look at these two, this is just side by side, again, just to make it clear, and you can go back to this to see the courses. And I already mentioned the Bachelor's of Arts has more language. So I think I pretty much talked about it, broader understanding or deep dive. So you can have that with you. The main thing at the bottom, it says if you have a Bachelor's of Arts in Communication, you have flexibility and specialization. Your career options are wider. If you do Bachelor's of Science, there's a diverse range, but you're going to have more applied courses in communication. So far, so good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, here comes the fun part. We have added in the last year, we've had a number of minors. So if you major with us, you can take some classes that also count towards your degree, and you'll be having an advisor advise you along the way. So in our department, you can say, all right, I'm getting my degree. oh, wait a minute, I have to take electives out there anyway, too. I might want to add on some core courses. Usually there's about 4 or 5 courses you'd be taking for your minor. Sometimes it's 6 classes, sometimes it's five, it just depends. So, just so you know, we are booming right now with all of these things that we've been adding. Of course, AI, artificial intelligence and digital communication. We are now partnering up with the computer science and engineering departments. That one just got approved this year. Film studies and production is going gangbusters, especially because Louisville is a real film studies production area. And FYI, I call him young, he's younger. He just is having his second baby right now. Remington Smith, which is a great name for a filmmaker, he won an award at Cannes Film Festival this summer, albeit not the creme de la creme, but one of those categories, the only American out of 8 people for a horror film. So that'll be advertised this year in Louisville. And then again, you have all these other not concentrations. These are the minors first. Some people will go in and do legal studies and take some courses on the side. New media marketing, name and image likeness, sport media, which is cracks me up because that's our joint minor, and someone wanted it to be sport, not sports, which I would say. Then this last one, this is something that Julie was talking about with strategic communication. To me is an umbrella again, and it has, whenever you take a class, you're looking at marketing, advertising, and public relations. So I think that's a really useful one in the
Mm.
workplace. I think, Julie, that might appeal to you a little bit based on what you said. And then, Carson, you can let me know what you think too.
Yeah, those all sound great.
Yeah, so again, you're going to have this so you can look back and think about it. So this is just to say you have these minors. Then some people say, well, I don't know. I don't want to give, I can use my electives for that, get a minor. Oh, I can get a concentration. Maybe I'll just take some classes in different areas to put on my resume to say, okay, I've got this bachelor's degree. And what
Mhm.
do I want to tell people? So some people who are working in hospital settings will, say health and sustainability. Some people will be going on to law school, so they want the rhetoric and argument, studying the language and persuasion pieces of it. We've already
Mhm.
talked about strategic communication. Again, is that you could just say, "Oh, I think I'll just take several other classes," and we consider that to be a concentration. And you can tell employers, "Look, I delved into these classes, and these are the kinds of projects that I did." And certainly media, and then the traditional media, that you'd be looking at, not only social media, but we still have the traditional television and radio. We have ESPN radio across the street from us, so some students will actually intern there. We have the ACC. I don't know if y'all know, we have the ACC $8.5 million studio where our students do things behind the scenes, and you as a student you can get hired right in there. It's a lot. It's a very busy place because they're broadcasting women and men's sports in the ACC network for U of L all over the country. And so our students are controlling cameras that could be in California and all over the place. So I think that's pretty cool.
That is.
Yeah. So
That
if you
is
ever
really
want,
cool.
yeah, and if you ever want to look, just you can Google ACC Studios Louisville and you'll see some really cool pictures in there. So that's hands-on, there's certainly a studio in there and they show you photos of it, but also our students are doing a lot of the controlling. It is very exciting. Whenever I give a tour, I get excited. I still get excited every tour I go on to take students. And then we have the usual production and journalism, production meaning video production, getting you ready if you wanted to work locally in television and media. So that's alive and well. Our students have cameras that are $8,000 cameras, so they can check those out for their classes when they're doing things and using them for either film classes or the video production. And finally, the sports communication or sports, we say sports communication. Um, it's traditionally sport, but I put in sports. So those are the concentrations that you might think about, again, depending upon your career and what you want and what's happening. So we're pretty darn flexible. What
Okay.
thoughts do you have on that, on this piece?
I love the like. Sorry, my dogs are barking in
Oh,
the
that's, you're
background.
loud. Dogs, pets are loud. Don't worry.
I love the diversity of it all. I Bellarmine has a communications program too, but I was not interested because it was very small and
Yeah.
Yes.
it didn't have what I needed. But this is very big and has a
Yeah,
good range.
it does. Okay, and I'll thank you for that. I take that as a compliment. I mean, it really does have a good range, and I think it's great because you can take a class in one area, it'll still count. You'll say, okay, let me try strategic communication. I know I know that has public relations, advertising, and marketing. Let me see if that's an area I like or not. If not, okay, let me look at these other areas. Maybe I want to be in health and sustainability. If Norton Hospital and Baptist are, going to be hiring some people, which they have many of our graduates too.
Hmm.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add on. And this is our building, just so you know, on campus right there. So I always like to show a little picture to people taking online classes because we have online students. I've had online students come from Nebraska before and say hello. Isn't that
Oh,
fun? I mean, you never know.
yeah.
So yeah, we just again we're connecting with students, resources. We're connecting with each other, enabling student success, no matter how that looks for the two of you. I just want to put that little slide in there for you. So this is the 100% online, graduate degree programs, Bachelors of Arts, Bachelors of Science. We went through all that. So these are the ones that are well known at the university, and this is where we fit in just to show you. So I mean, we've been doing online classes and minors and majors for years, especially us. I think we're one of the first, as I mentioned earlier, we've been doing it a long time. But I mean, isn't it amazing? I mean, nursing, even though they've got to do certain things hands-on and get kits and things that they use, but it's amazing to think how all these are online
Wow.
and they have to be accredited too. So again, that's just where we are seated. And then we're just looking at some other 100% online graduate degrees. Should you want to get a graduate degree, interestingly enough, we have high ratings for all these too. For instance, if you got an undergraduate and said, "Oh, I want to go into social work," not that you'd want to go into engineering, but maybe you would. And maybe you'd say, "Hey, I want to go into criminal justice. Now I've got a job in that," whatever. So just know we've got the graduate degrees as well.
Hmm.
There are some online certificates. It's interesting because I have my daughter is in her first year of graduate school at NC State. And she was telling me, Mom, I've got all these certificates. What should I do? Because she's in, environmental science and was looking at all of them. And I said, and this is what we have. And just so you know, universities tout these. These are in if you have extra time. And I think they're great. But if you're concentrating on your degree, you want your degree. And yet you'd say, okay, there's usually you take these classes for about a semester or so and you get a certificate because you've done, how you just do these training learning modules as you go along.
Uh-huh.
This is a great thing to add to it. So maybe back to, saying, okay, I'm getting my degree, but I could get a certificate in business of healthcare. Again, if I were going into that, or population health management, some kind of public health training. There's all kinds of things, financial management. Maybe I want a management just so I can add that to my resume. So this is a big thing that's really come on. I've really seen it more in the last 3 to 5 years come out more and more. So that's an FYI. But again, the certificate is separate from your classes. It doesn't go on your diploma, but it is in and of itself a training like you get at work, but you get an actual certified diploma for
Hmm.
those extra hours of study that you do. All right, you ready? Good for me just to move along?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay, good. And this is just the academic support like you get anywhere. We are so used to having many online students that you'll get an orientation of some kind online. You have an academic advisor still assigned to you. We still have Disability Resource Center resources for our students who need it. There's virtual tutoring from what we call the Reach Center, the library. And Blackboard is what do you use at Bellarmine, Carson, for when you look at things? And we'll share this with you, Julie. Do you use Blackboard or something else?
It's called Moodle.
Yeah, Moodle. I like Moodle. Blackboard has been great with us, except we're in a new version that apparently computer programmers wrote. So the faculty this year is having some issues, myself included, going, I've used this for 18 years. I've gone through all the upgrades, and somebody came in and did not make it user friendly. So that's a whole nother study
Oh
in and of
no.
itself. But all that to say, we have a great help desk, and for you on your side, using Blackboard will be easier than us as professors trying to set up things that, to do. It takes me 5 steps to do one thing that I would take me 1 step. It's just wild. That's just an inside scoop. But you have a you have a lot of academic support, and certainly ITS. We have a great help desk. I call IT all the time if I need, especially Blackboard, but or something. I'll just go, hey, can you, and they, like anywhere, you can get on a computer and they'll look at your computer. Go, oh yeah, you need this. Da, 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 there it is. I fixed it for you. Even if it's something that's, you know, something on your end that you just needed help with. And certainly you've got access to the full library online too, and the bookstore, the campus bookstore. You can do online. I know, Carson, you're here locally. Someday, Julie, if you're taking classes, you can come visit and see the bookstore, but also you have access to it as well, of course, online.
Great.
Yeah, fun things, some good swag there to get.
Mm-hmm.
So with the information, you'll certainly work through admissions and you'll make sure that you'll say, hey, I want to be an online student. And you'd submit the application, just like anywhere else, get the transcripts. If you have any other classes, you send them to us. If not, you'd submit the application. There are scholarships. My gosh, there are scholarships even as you're a student if you want to get them for $500, $1,000, whatever, while you're enrolled too. So I'm going to encourage you to think about that and just keep that thought in your brain because there's some great scholarships out there. And those are all housed with us, with people who donate for those. And these are some general deadlines and double check because I just have these from admissions with, preferred deadlines, April 1st, August 1st, December 1st, as you start applying ahead for the next semester. Usually, you would want to decide, I would say if you're going to start in August, you definitely want to go before August. But some people might be at last minute and actually do apply on August 1st. But you too, I can tell already, you're looking ahead. So you're planners, I would think, maybe, if you are. All right, I just have a few more slides and I want to open it up. Are you good so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. And then financial aid certainly is available to you. And I already mentioned some scholarships, but we've got undergraduate ones I mentioned, academic department. I didn't even mention that one yet to you. We've got a $1,000 one, we've got a $5,000 one. So those are ones that we offer to students who are already enrolled, a semester at least. And depending if they're a sophomore above, then they're eligible for certain scholarships. And then this one is the KCTCS, just Julie, so you know that's the Kentucky Technical College Transfer Scholarships. So for
Okay.
students transferring in. And certainly there's financial aid available, so you've got all that at your disposal like you would anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Then I really like everyone who helps us technically and online learning is part of the Delphi Center. So when you were getting signed up for this, Brandy Chamberlain, who's awesome, she's the one who got you enrolled and got you going and getting ready for this orientation just to say, okay, this is what's going on. And again, the Delphi Center, they're the ones I call all the time. I mentioned Blackboard and they have this a line for students too. I'm always going, can you help me with this? What is this? What happened? So they're great people. The weird thing is, side comment, Brandy, who enrolled you, her mom, maybe if she'll listen to this later, or if it's archived, I don't know. But her mom, I know her mom too. Isn't that weird? And they're both working, in similar areas. It's so wild. So that's our Delphi Center, and there's a lot of professional development that goes with it. And there's just some photos there of some of the staff there. And the last slide is just any questions that you have for me. And I've got my maryz.ashlock there at louisville.edu anytime you need to contact me as well. And again, sometimes we have more people, so I take more time in the introductions and find out who everybody is in the group. But I want to make sure I answer your questions before we wrap up.
Personally, I'm good. I think you did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, did it help a little bit then?
Yes, it helped me
Okay.
a lot.
Okay. And remember, I'm here. I mean, I'm here. We can do virtual. That's what I love about virtual chats too. You can virtual chat if you just want to ask me. And then Brandy's really good. Make sure you know Brandy's name for enrolling in the online specifically, if that's what you want full time.
All right.
Yeah, she's great, and her staff is great as well. Julie, how about you?
I think I'm good. I'm just trying to figure out which direction to go, um, whether it's communications or marketing. And
Mm-hmm.
I believe you have some sort of online program where you can take life experience and kind of cut out a bunch of classes.
You can, yeah. So check in with Brandy and some others about, how that works because of all your work experience, you definitely
Uh-huh.
want to see what would count for you.
Okay. Yeah, and I know it can cut out a big chunk of classes. So
Yes. Yeah.
I just don't know if what I would end up with, the degree that I would end up with, is something that I would want,
Mm-hmm.
if it would make sense.
Yeah, and that's when you talk to an advisor to say, okay, can I have two concentrations in this area? This is what I think I want, and how does that look? And in your case, you have so many years of experience that helps you to become more marketable if that's the route you want to take.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, if you choose a major, then you're going just, more in depth in that one area. And when you mention marketing, it's interesting because we've got marketing classes, so does the School of Business. And I
Mm-hmm.
always share with people, they always ask me, what's the difference? Because we have a lot of marketing majors come over to us. Our classes in the strategic communication classes, they're very hands-on. You're actually doing projects. So we say, hey, you want to do an ad campaign marketing for a company? That's the class you take. Marketing in the business school, certainly you'll get some of that, but it's more of the analysis. Not that we don't do numbers, because people don't think we do, but we do. We do numbers, crunch numbers and communication. But it's marketing is more of the number crunching in business than it is for us. So some students, again, want to come over to Department of Communication to say, shoot, I'm going to take an intro to strategic comm. Oh, shoot, I think I'm going to minor because of the hands-on experiences that you get.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a lot of options just to figure out what's best for you.
And who would you recommend that I reach out to as far
I
as an advisor?
I think Brandy, see Brandy's name first so she can advise you with who that would be. And you see Brandy's name right there on the slide, Brandy Chamberlain.
Uh-huh. And you're going
Yeah.
to slide, right?
What's that?
Are you emailing this slide to us? I believe
Okay,
you.
I think that she will do that. And I'll when we hang up, I'll go ahead or we stop. I'll go ahead and make sure. I'm pretty sure Brandy sends this to you.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and write her email
Yeah.
down. I'm looking at everything on my cell phone, so it's all very small.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. No, she's got it, and that's usually what she does. She'll send you all, she's very organized.
Okay.
So I'll just I'll just send her saying, "Hey, we had a great conversation. I just want to follow up, make sure that you're sending in the PowerPoints," which I'm almost 100% sure she'll do.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
good question. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just kind
Carson?
of need to
Oh,
know. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, go ahead, Julie.
Um, I just need to know. I've taken some classes years ago, so what can be utilized and what's the best direction to go, which major. I don't
Right.
know.
And yeah, and basically I'm thinking you might have that special bachelor's degree program that you put together, and based on your transcripts and what those classes were and so forth, that could
Uh-huh.
be part of it. And many adult students are coming back saying, "Hey, let me put together some things that count." So I think
Mm,
that's really worth checking into to see what you can get out of that. And then you
okay.
can always, yeah, then you can always take our classes and whatever other classes you want, and that's an individualized program that's put together.
See, I would probably prefer that because
Hmm.
I know where my weak spots are.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
where I'm lacking lacking knowledge, and to be able to round out and include that marketing background with
Mm-hmm.
digital marketing and um, the product manager
Mm-hmm.
type aspect of things. But
Yeah.
then, it'd be nice to throw some communication in there as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you got definitely to marketing, you can do it through business, and we've got joint programs too with the business school. So it's all intertwined. And I think again, in your case with all of your experience, that's a definite thing that you want to look into and see what you can get out of that to to put that bachelor's degree program together. And you'll have an advisor. So yes, make sure to ask Brandy and get that going.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure. Carson, anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. And you're good, Julie, too?
Yes.
Okay. I
Thank
hope it was worth your time. And yes, you'll be getting these slides and I'll just let Brandy know right away.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
welcome. So it was a pleasure meeting you virtually. And
Yes,
you've got
same.
my maryz.ashlock right there at louisville.edu too.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. Enjoy your evening too.
You too. Take
You
care.
Okay.
too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.